Please join me in welcoming Jim Miller.
I married Cheryl Miller in 1984 with her to protect my wife at times. But as it turns out, it was she who took me places I never would have gone, and it was Cheryl who did what I would not have done. You see, Cheryl fought the drug war like a real war. She set an example that sadly enough few people have followed, and it's an example that we might want to review quickly here today, especially today. In 1997, Cheryl publicly and illegally used her medicine from her hospital bed, placed outside at the foot of the steps of the State House in Trenton, New Jersey. She did that so the media assembled would see that it did in fact relieve her spasticity. And when the test began, the state troopers present scurried away as fast as they could because, you see, they didn't want to arrest somebody like Cheryl. They were beat down that day by a woman who couldn't move her arms and legs. In 1998, Cheryl ate marijuana in a congressman's office just a few miles away. She did that in front of the world. And to explain to people that this is, in fact, not a war on drugs. It is a war on sick people. It is a war on all of our rights to life, liberty, and our pursuit of happiness. You know, I didn't make notes because I wanted to talk to you kind of off the cuff today, and I've heard a lot of things going on that, I don't know, really get me thinking. And Cheryl did what she did so we would have ammunition, you know, and we got to use it. The fact is, the opposition, some of them carry guns. We are unarmed. They have resources we can only imagine. They have manpower we would die for. It is not a fair fight. So why are we still fighting fair? Maybe we don't need to fight quite as fair as we've been fighting. You know, I want to cut to the end because I'm kind of forgetting some of the things I want to say as hard as I really wanted to remember, because it was pretty good. You know, for 40 years, we've been fighting a war on drugs. For 40 years, we've been right and they've been wrong. They're still here. They're still here saying the same old things they've been saying for 40 years. They have no new material where our arsenal of information about how marijuana can be beneficial grows by the day. And I got to tell you, I think that kind of might be our fault. When I say our fault, I don't mean necessarily the students here. I mean people like me that have been fighting this war for 2 decades. And I think maybe part of the problem in the past was that, you see, in a real war, people and groups work together to defeat a common enemy. And in the past, there have been, no surprise to most, some drug reform groups and individuals that have not managed to work together, even though we have a common enemy. And that has to stop. I am hoping that it is students that can bridge that gap. That you will go from being students with sensible drug policy onto the other groups all across the country and know better. So when the time comes, we do work together and bring the full force of our fury upon them and beat them once and for all. Because I don't know about you, but I do not want to be back here in 10 more years marking the 50th anniversary of the war on drugs. Right, yeah.